So now we come to the big day, when you're going to try and put everything that we've talked about into practice, and you're going to try and actually perform at your highest level, up to your full potential on the golf course. Now, one of the biggest things that I see with people when they're preparing for a competition is they don't actually prepare themselves enough physically but also mentally before they go out and play. The classic warm-up routine that I see for people just before they play golf, the warm-up exercises, is pulling the boot down, tying the shoelaces as they're running to the first tee, and then shaking hands with people. Now, if you're doing the pull the boot down, tie the shoelaces on the way to the first tee, and the shaky hands warm-up routine, you're probably not allowing yourself to play your best golf, and that's maybe why you struggle for the first 5 or 6 holes of a round of golf. So what I'd like you to do is give yourself a little bit more time. Get to the golf course maybe half an hour before you're going to go and play. A little bit of practice before you have a little bit of practice to warm you up physically, a little bit of practice to warm you up mentally, and a good opportunity to get there to make sure you've got all the gear you need, golf balls, tee pegs, your shoes are on okay, you've got the scorecard sorted out, you've got the pencil, you know who you're playing with, you know where the teeing ground is that you're going to be playing from, and just making sure that everything's sorted out like that. When you get to the driving range, I would encourage you to do a little bit of practice and warming up before you go and play. But maybe we need to make sure that you separate this out in your mind, that this doesn't class as proper practice in terms of thinking about your golf swing. When you come to the range just to warm up before each round, you really shouldn't be thinking too much technical thoughts about what you're about to do on the golf course. It's like when you revise for an exam. You do all the revision first, you get all that information in your head, and you go into the exam hall and just write it all down. You can't revise in the exam hall. I don't really want you standing on the first tee going through a load of difficult checkpoints thinking about everything you should be doing. This should have all been done in the past on the driving range, in the garden, at home, checking all these things. So actually, as you stand over the golf ball, it happens very naturally, very smoothly, without too many thoughts. Just ask yourself, when you drove to the golf course that morning, if you drove in a car, did you have to think about how to drive? No. You just think about the direction you want to go. I want to go down here, I want to turn left, I want to do that. You don't actually have to think about how you turn the wheel to get there. A good player would plot his way around the golf course in the same way. Just think about where he wants to go, ball goes there. Doesn't have to actually think, do this, move that, elbow up, elbow down, do this, change that. So all of the technical aspects of your golf swing should be ingrained. So when you're standing on the practice ground before you play, it's literally a warm-up session rather than a practice session. I'd encourage you to start with your shortest club, just a wedge, just flick a few wedges away, 10 or 15 shots there to get your body warmed up a little bit, build it up through the mid-irons, take it up to the driver, drop back down to the mid-irons again, finish off with a couple of wedges. And then 6 golf balls, save the last 6 golf balls. Choose the club that you've decided you're going to hit off the first tee. Be it a driver, be it a rescue club, or if it's a par 3, choose the iron that you think you might be using. Pick a target out here and play that first shot that you're going to hit off the first tee 6 times. Remember the good ones, forget the bad ones.